Shadow. Not Shadow.
Well, thank you for bringing that
up. Okay, this is kind of like a... How would you... This is like not like a special episode, but this is just kind of like a fun little thing we had an idea for. For some Sonic the Pod episodes, we're literally just going to go down the list of zones in particular games. And I don't know if we'll publish this one first as part of that series, but this is our first time doing it, and we're going to hit Sonic Adventure. That's a game we both like. Is there... I know we kind of already touched base on it. Is there any history with you with this game that you want to make known before we start?
Make known? No, not... I mean, not besides the fact that it was my first Sonic game. I don't want that to like drive anyone away. Like, oh well, he's nostalgia-based. But you know, just letting you know.
So this is one that's near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me personally, Sonic Adventure was one of my first games. Okay, a little story. I remember I was playing this game, the Chaos boss fight at the very beginning of the game, and I remember, because this is when I just bought my GameCube, that's when I realized my controller didn't work, because I'm like, why isn't Sonic working? And I thought the game was broken, so I called in my mom, and we were like, is the game broken? But, controller. But one of my first Sonic games, I do not have nostalgia goggles for it, but I still like it. I am aware of how bad it holds up.
Yeah, I've recently come to terms with that. Like, I thought, no way, this game's not bad, but then, like...
Really?
Well, I mean, like, yeah. Well, I knew it was unpolished, but I didn't think it was, like... I didn't think it held up horribly, but, like, playing it again, you can see all, like... I don't know, yeah. Not
it's
good,
horrible.
not good at all. Yeah.
Oh, but I still like it.
Yeah.
And I feel like to truly criticize something, I think you really do deeply need to love it. And for that, I do think I love Sonic Adventure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, I'm on the Sonic Retro page, so it looks like we're just doing this in the order that Sonic hits the stages, but I'll hit you with Action Stage number 1, the one everyone knows, Emerald Coast. Your thoughts?
My thoughts, I don't actually have that many opinions on this level, but it's a good level. I like how at the beginning you can spin dash up to the bridge. I like that. I like I don't know. Well, okay, I like how a lot of parts in the level that you can just like skip if you're good enough at the game, like like kind of near the end where you use like that dash pad to get up that huge ramp. You can just like go off to the side.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. It's I don't know. That's the kind of level design that I want to see more of in a Sonic game. Like you see something skippable, and then you just skip it, and that's it.
Yeah. And the game doesn't put like invisible walls around you, like telling you no.
Yeah.
They're my favorite thing about this stage. I don't like the dash. You remember the jump pads or whatever near the end of the stage?
Oh yeah.
I don't like those because those didn't work for me for the longest time. But I do like the whale set piece.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
That was cool.
Imagine being like a kid in '99, like with the Dreamcast, like one of the first 3D consoles. You pop it open, whale friggin' jumping everywhere, and you're just like, "Oh my god, Sonic!" You know?
yeah. I think that's really cool too, because like that's the same feeling a kid must have gotten in 1991 playing Sonic.
Oh yeah.
And it's really cool that they found a way to recapture that feeling with a brand new era of Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. The stage is kind of what we said in one of the previous episodes, or what I said, is that it's linear, but like, and what you said too, if you see something and you have the skill set to skip this and go to that, you can do it. But at the same time, the stage is linear, but it's not like a straight path. Like, it's all like windy, going up this hill, all that stuff. It's still fun to play.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, though, is there's like a small like rock corridor when you're running down the side of a mountain, and it happened to me before. I remember seeing a video on anyone else, but I hit a dash pad and I literally clipped between the wall and the floor, and Sonic would just fall out of the level.
Yeah.
And so it happened like a couple times in a row, so I would literally, like, I'd respawn, I would jump over that dash pad and just kind of start, like, walking, trying to stay right in the middle of this path and go over to the
I think that's only something that happens in DX, if I remember correctly, which is...
Yeah, that was the first version of the game I played.
Yeah, which is another reason why I don't know which version I like more.
Yeah, that's a hard conversation. Okay, so how do you feel about the music about this, too? That's gotta be another gimme we gotta do.
Really good music. I don't know... Okay, so this... It kind of makes me bring up a good point about Sonic Adventure's soundtrack. It's very diverse, and it definitely, like... It definitely knows how to make music sound like what you're going through. So, like, Emerald Coast sounds very tropical, and like something... I don't know. Like, you know...
you don't know. What you talking about?
I don't know.
No, I agree. This is... I was going to compare this... Or I was going to say this is the most diverse Sonic soundtrack. Maybe Unleashed gives it a run for its money, but no. Unleashed is actually not at all on the level of Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure, by far, is the most diverse soundtrack Sonic's ever had.
Yeah, and I like it for that.
Yeah,
because it's all good music. Like, you don't feel like they're inexperienced in one genre or whatever.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. June did a great job with this, and it's like all the music is so diverse, yet the composition of the songs, because it's composed by the same guy, is similar, and so for that, it kind of binds all the songs together, and like there's a good... None of the songs sound out of place, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
And they all... Yes, it's a good soundtrack. What else? I wonder, were there any things you don't like about Emerald Coast? I do have one kind of weird, stupid thing, but I'll let you go.
Not really. I feel like it's a solid level, but what do you think?
The loop-de-loop, or one of the loop-de-loops, I think you know which one I'm talking about, where you like do like 2 or 3 loops. That was the first time I got confused about what direction I should be holding my analog stick in a 3D Sonic game.
Oh yeah, because the camera changes.
Yeah, and the camera does like a overview of like the loop, so I'd be trying to hold the up button relative to like what Sonic's up was with the camera, and then he'd just fall like straight to the ground. And I just kind of do like the walk of shame like on the floor of the loop, and then hit the dash panel and keep going.
The walk of shame. Just with your head down, just like going through the middle of the loop.
Yeah. They call it the walk of shame because, like, it's such a cool loop, and you just fell off of it, and there's no way to get back on it, so you just need to, like, skip it. You see, like, the ring capsule at the top and the extra life thing, but it's like, I'm not going to get those. That was the only thing I had. Oh, the dash panels, though, or the jump panels. I kind of don't like those.
Oh, yeah.
They never worked for me. That was the only... Yeah,
did you jump as soon as you landed on the panel? Because or else you'll fall.
You know what? I'm convinced I didn't. My favorite thing to do was like, because that's kind of a long line that the lady had to read. So my favorite thing to do is to see if I could jump through all the panels and get done with that before she finished her line.
Yeah.
That was just kind of like a little thing I do with myself. So Sonic could be like, "Ha-ha! I beat you!" Or something like that. That's how he sounds in my head, by the way. But, okay, so let's do, out of 10 hedgehogs, what would you rate Emerald Coast?
Ooh, like 8 hedgehogs.
I'd give it 7 hedgehogs. Okay, so we're on the same page. Okay, yeah. Next stage, Windy Valley.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's as good as Emerald Coast, but at the same time, it has cool stuff like. Hang on. Okay, so I like how. Well, okay, I think the tornado is really cool, and I like how a set piece kind of plays into the gameplay. That was pretty cool. And then after the tornado, though, it kind of drops off, and it's literally just like, I don't know, just roads in the sky, and you like run along them, and like it's cool.
Right.
It's like, cool, whatever.
I enjoy the kind of like the very, not precise, but the very platformy opening of Windy Valley. And at the same time, once you get past the tornado, like you were saying, I actually do kind of like the long, windy roads and all the loops. I think Windy Valley does that better than Emerald Coast. But, and this is a kind of but that makes me recant that, is that this is the first time in the game where you kind of realize that Sonic's controls moving left to right while running really fast are very, very, very tight. Like, I cannot... When those roads in Windy Valley are all looping around and doing all that stuff and you need to make a turn, I can never do that perfectly. As in, like, I'll always run into the railings.
I can't even run straight perfectly.
And it's just... And it's so hard, too, because we've had this discussion before. I really do like Sonic's controls in Adventure, how precise they are. It just doesn't lend itself well to things like this.
Yeah. You know what? I just realized why they probably did those roads, though.
What's up?
Because it's kind of designed like wind. Like long, like windy...
Oh my god. You're a genius, you know that? Yeah, that's a good point. There's parts where he's literally, like, falling on wind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. Okay, okay. Have you seen Game Grumps play that stage? I don't want to hate on anyone, but...
I think I have, but I also think I've forgotten it for a very important reason.
Because, I mean, like... I'm pretty sure they purposely glitched out Emerald Coast, but whatever, that game's glitchy, that's kind of the game's fault. But in Windy Valley, they got to like the wind part where you have to keep running to run on the wind. And then they just like got on the wind part and then stopped running, and then they died every single time. I'm like, what are you doing? Run!
Hey, Aaron was playing that game for the record. That's all his fault.
Yeah, I think even like T. Carl told me to keep running. And they were like, oh, what do you do here?
It's funny because I agree with you 100%, and I think that's just a problem with Aaron.
Yeah. It makes me mad because then people see that and then it's like, oh, bad game design.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a similar argument, not to stop talking about Adventure, but like a lot of people complaining about Classic Sonic's control and forces. And I think the underlying problem is that people are trying to think that Classic Sonic controls exactly like he does in the Mega Drive games, and he doesn't. As soon as you get rid of that mentality, it's bearable. And so, like, I think when you're trying to force a certain play style onto like these adventure games, or like when you try when you try to play an adventure game like it's a modern game that has all the kinks and bugs worked out, you're doing it wrong. Like, you have to play it within the limitations that are set there.
Yeah, and maybe it's because, like, I grew up with the game, so I just know to do that. I don't know.
Exactly. Well, I mean, as a guy who plays Sonic games, you do kind of learn, or, you know, Sonic's the name, speed's the game! So you kind of hold right, you know? Or you hold up. That's kind of like the thing you do. And it's like, when in doubt, deer in the headlights moment. I don't know about you, but me in a Sonic game, I hold forward. And usually it works out.
Yeah.
So that might also just be a thing that, like, the Sonic games have, like, trained us to instinctively react with. Oh, actually, no. You know what the right thing to do is in a classic game? If you're going really fast, go into your spinball. It makes me really angry when I don't see people do that. But I digress. what was it? Oh, the Game Grumps playthrough, and then Windy. Yeah, is there anything from Windy Valley that we're forgetting about? There's nothing else. Yeah, there is. There's nothing else we're forgetting from Windy Valley, right? I think we touched on all of it.
Yeah, I think so.
Tails has like the little racing section, but that's basically just a repeat of the Sonic stage. Yeah, okay. Oh, the music. Music's okay.
Yeah, I like how they remixed Sonic 3D Blast.
Yeah! Uh-huh. That was a damn good job. And this stage, I can't really give like a theme on this music, but it sounds like airy. And it sounds like a song that would be in a stage called Windy Valley.
Yeah. I don't know how they did it, but they did.
Again, I think it's another really good job by the composers. Yeah, no qualms with this song either, or this song or this zone. Okay, 1 to 10 hedgehogs, or technically we could do 0. How many hedgehogs do you give this one?
Ooh, maybe like 7, maybe 6.
I give it 5 hedgehogs, to be honest.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm getting a little spicy here. At 10, by the way, I don't think is achievable in any Sonic game, in my eyes. I can't think of 10 out of 10 hedgehogs. Well, maybe the time will come, but... So I'm not just being harsh, like, to be a dick.
Yeah.
Okay. Action stage number 3, and I don't know how to pronounce this. Is it Casinopolis or Casinopolis?
I know... Like, Amy said it in Sonic Heroes, but I don't remember how she pronounced it, so I don't know.
I think let's do Casinopolis.
Alright. Yeah, because that rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, the casino level.
Yeah.
This one's interesting because now they're throwing in, this is less of an action stage. Ah, that's a lie. But if you do this stage right, you never have to go into the sewer.
Yeah, well, what I like to do is go into the sewer.
Exactly. If you already have the Lightspeed Dash, the sewer in this is easy, but it's still fun. I just love this stage because it's like ring overload. And you never really... Forces overdoes it with the rings, and a couple other Sonic games kind of would do that, but no other stages really ever did that in a Sonic game until Casinopolis. So it was really fun boarding all these rings, especially because the level required you to. I'm definitely a fan of those. You know, like you're in the fan or the big old fan room. And it's like pulling you up or whatever, and then you gotta like get into one of those tiny corridors.
Yeah.
I really like those sections, except it kind of has the same problem as Windy Valley, where you'll be slamming into the sides of the wall. But I like those. It's weird. It's not a bad level.
It's a really weird level. I like the concept of trying to collect a bunch of rings and using it as like a platform to get up to the emerald. That's really cool. One thing I don't like though is how it's very, very scripted. Like you will not get the emerald unless you have like a certain amount of rings, even if you can jump up there because there's like an invisible ceiling. I think it would be really cool if you just get as many rings as you need, and if you're good enough at the game, you only need to collect like a few and then use your pro strats to just get up there early.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. I can get down with that. Oh, this was the level I would always replay to get extra lives.
Oh yeah.
This was the stage where I asked myself, hey, what happens if I get more than 99 lives? And then so I played this stage for 3 hours. I can't remember if the game did anything. I'm pretty sure the counter just stayed at 99. But do you like the Sonic pinball or the Nights into Dreams pinball more?
That's hard. I don't remember why, but I never go into the Knights pinball, so I can't really say.
I would only go into the Knights board. Or the Knights machine, whatever it is.
Thinking back on it, it's really cool because I remember there was a part where you were like going through one of the tubes, but it was like a Knights game, and you were flying through the... I don't know, it seems cool. I don't know why I don't go in it.
Yeah, but you know what I will say, though, is I'm sure if you gave me a Dreamcast and booted that stage up, I can still play that Sonic pinball machine, or the Sonic pinball machine in that stage. I can play that one perfectly.
Yeah. You know what I found that was weird is that in the Sonic pinball, they use the classic Sonic artwork and not the adventure artwork that they already made for the game.
You're right. Even Tails and Knuckles are classic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. I never questioned that, though. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That is kind of weird. Maybe they were getting classic Sonic nostalgia all the way in 1999. It's the precursor to all the stuff we have nowadays. The music. The main music, like when you're in the lobby, where it's like I'm not going to sing it, but that music's kind of boring unless you sit there for 30 seconds, then it starts to kick in, and then it's like, oh yeah, this is the casino. But the sewer, I freaking love that song. Like, it's beautiful. Even the pinball, both are pinball. Is it pinball? Yeah. Both Knights and the Sonic pinball machines both have good music. The music in this, again, completely different than the other stages, and it's really good.
You know what I love about the sewer music?
What's up?
I love the beginning where it kind of sounds like, oh, look at what you've done. Now you're down here. It's like da 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 da. It's kind of like really cheerful game over music, but I like it.
That's such a good way to put it, yeah. And it's a really good track, too, because it's, if I'm remembering correctly, it's pretty mellow for the rest of the loop, but it's still, like, funky and, like, get your foot stomping.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's mellow, not really slow, but shares some characteristics with, like, being a slow song, but it's still catchy. Like, if my vocal cords, like, allow me to, I could, like, sing that, you know, because it's memorable. I remember it.
Yeah. And it fits with the lobby music, because that's also slow and calm.
Yeah. I just think that one starts off too boring, but it kicks in, and it gets good. Yeah. Like, I'm thinking of like the sax solo that comes in like a minute into it, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. We might have to like superimpose these songs into like the pod.
Oh, okay, yeah.
God forbid someone doesn't know what we're talking about when we start talking about the music, but hey, whatever.
All right.
I like this.
I hate when that happens when I watch like reviews of a game. And then they're like, yeah, the music is good. I really like this part. And then they don't play it,
yes,
so I don't know what they're talking about.
I agree so much. Yes. You do not realize how many buttons that pushes in me.
Yeah.
Especially when someone's very articulate. They're like, yeah, you know, I really like this, the opening 4 bars of Titanic Monarch with this C-sharp chord when it translates into a D minor, but they don't show it. Or they don't let you listen to it, so I don't know what you're talking. I do know what you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure because you're not telling me. I agree with you. Out of 10 hedgehogs, I would rate Casinopolis. Ooh, you know what? I think I'll give it the highest score of all the levels so far. I'll give it 7 out of 10 hedgehogs.
Huh. Yeah, I'd give it... Golly, I don't know. maybe at the same level of Windy Valley, which was like, what did I rate that? Like a 6 or 7?
Yeah, you were bouncing between those.
Yep.
Great, fair enough. Now we're moving on to... I feel like this and maybe one other stage are probably the most polarizing in this game. Ice Cap.
Yeah, polarizing, like ice.
But, like, you get people that either really like the stage because it's very slow, or you get people that hate it, maybe for, like, the snowboarding. But what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, so I like, as I said before, I like how you can, like, skip the entire thing. But,
yeah, that's brilliant.
But you also don't have to, and when you don't, I think it's something. Like, I don't dislike it. I kind of like it. I like that it's like climbing a huge ice cave, but at the same time, if you fall, you have to do the entire thing over again, which sucks. The icicles are kind of cool, but they can also get old really fast.
The camera does not help you when you're trying to jump between icicles.
Yeah, so I usually just skip them with spin dash, which is also really fun. I also like how stuff happens. Like, I don't know, they use ice really well, and there's like a huge icicle that falls, and there's like snow, right. But there's like no ice physics. There's no annoying ice physics, which games like to default to.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that stage with ice physics, or I don't want to.
Yeah.
We usually talk about the music as the last thing, so I'll save that for that, but that's a very positive thing for me. Once I realized what I was doing, the snowboarding section of Ice Cap was really fun.
I like the snowboarding section as just like a section for Sonic.
Yes.
But I don't like it as Tails' entire stage.
I agree with that. So would you say... Would you have the entire Ice Cap stage as Tails' stage? Would you only give him the first section, or what would you do?
That's also hard, because I guess I can understand why they did the snowboarding, because all the other parts, I think, are just like climbing up a cave.
Yeah.
And like, since Tails can fly, that would be extremely easy to win.
Right.
So I guess I understand, but I don't know.
Yeah, I get why they did it. I'm kind of in your camp. I don't like that. Tails' whole campaign I don't really like, just because of how jarring it is. Like, oh, that was the whole stage? But, yeah, if I can... The first part, that I didn't talk about the first part of Ice Cap, I appreciate... When I first played it, I didn't like how slow it was, but giving it some time, I appreciate the change of pace, especially from something as weird as Casinopolis, following that up with like a serene, calm Ice Cap trudging up a ice cave kind of thing. But what you said, the fact that there's no ice physics saves this. Not that it needed to be saved, but that would have killed this stage. This would be easily the worst of the game if it had ice physics.
So, I'm glad they didn't. I know it must be tempting for game devs to do that, apparently, but...
Yeah. And the music is... Well, the music for this stage, at least for the first part, it's like, what music? Because it's more ambience than anything else. That kind of sucks, but I don't have a problem with it. I love the snowboarding music. That has to be one of my favorite songs out of Sonic Adventure. It's just, and the brass comes in. It's like, and the guitar's like wailing over there in the background. And there's one part where there's like 3 guitars. Like, I'm gonna sing it. There's one guitar. It's like, and then like 3 guitars come like, it's awesome. I just love that. And it's like there's like some snowball falling, if I remember correctly. Sonic just like, wow! It's just cool. I love that music. That music, yeah, that's my favorite. I was doing homework a couple years ago, and I literally booted up Sonic Adventure, went into the sound test, found the snowboarding section of Ice Cap on the Dreamcast on the TV, and I just played that for hours while I was doing my homework. I love that song.
Yeah, I feel like that section is very, very Sonic Adventure-y, and I can't really put my finger on why. But, like the jazzy music, and like how Sonic does his like, whoa! And like that.
God, his freaking face.
Yeah.
I love how close the camera is to his face. You see his fangs. He's completely still, like, wow! And then the next stage, he's going like 70 miles an hour with a snowboard that appeared out of nowhere. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's definitely Sonic Adventure. This has to be. Oh, you know what? If the snowboarding section was attached to like a different level, this would be my favorite level of the entire game. It's kind of like how slow the first part was kind of compensates for how fast the snowboarding section is, and then vice versa. But that's not... They didn't mess that up, if that makes sense. But the slow part was a little faster. This would be my favorite stage.
Yeah.
But like you said, if you're actually good at the game, which apparently I'm not, you can just skip a lot of parts at the first section, so... I don't think you got a chance to talk about the music because I was going too ham. How do you feel about it?
I don't know, because it's like ambience and there's not much of like a melody, but I mean, I guess it's cool.
Yeah. It's like I don't have a problem with it, but I kind of wish there was something to it. Out of 10 hedgehogs, okay, you know what? This is a hot take, and this won't actually be my rating. And you'll see why I preface that in a second. I rate the first part of Ice Cap 5 out of 10 hedgehogs. I rate the snowboarding part like 9 hedgehogs out of 10. But the stage as a whole, like 6.5 hedgehogs.
Okay. This is hard for me. I'd say maybe like, as a whole, 7. I know I've been saying that a lot, but like...
I mean, the game isn't bad, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Now, you can also preface it if it's like a high 7 or like a low 7.
I don't know, just a mid 7.
Okay, so now that I've splurged over Ice Cap, let's move on to action stage number 5. It's the good one. It's the one with the roller coaster, and we're not talking about Asteroid Coaster. It's Twinkle Park.
All right.
How do you feel about this one?
It's goofy, I can say that, but I like it. I like how... Okay, so it's really weird because you start out with like the cart thing.
Yeah, well, you do bumper cars before that, even.
Yeah. Okay, so that's another thing that I was better at as a kid, because like every single time I was like really easily able to get into the car, and then now for some reason I just can't, and I'm like killed every single time because everyone ran.
There was a cool thing about the cars I really liked that I never noticed on my first playthrough is that the number on the back of the carts is actually the amount of rings you have. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess I'm not expecting Mario Kart here, but the gameplay itself is like, because there's like no drifting, and the ramps feel very like stiff and almost like slows you down. Yeah, but I like how Sonic goes like woohoo every single time you go off one.
Yeah, I agree. The slopes, when he goes off the ramps, it's kind of unfulfilling. Like he just kind of falls onto the track below. And I agree with the drifting, like how there is none, and that's not really good. And for that, it kind of makes me realize now there's probably a reason the track wasn't like all Mario Karty with a whole bunch of turns and all that. Like, there's a reason the turns were mostly like 90 degrees or closer to that.
Yeah.
So what? You get out of the roll. Once you get out of that, then you jump on the roller coaster, right? And it loads up the platforming part of the stage.
Yeah.
This part of the stage, man.
Yeah.
It was what we were talking about earlier, where like if you position yourself right, you can go to the very top part of the castle. You just spin dash and hop off of that and skip so much of the level. But it's very... I haven't played the stage in a while, but I'll go out on a limb and I'll say this is the most open level in the entire game.
Yeah, I'd agree. Okay, here's just like one thing that I like about the openness. Like at the beginning, when you jump off the roller coaster, I think you're in like this alleyway, and then there's like a bowling thing.
Yes!
But, like, to the side,
oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, to the side though is like a later part of the level. You know what I'm talking about? And then there's like a gate, so you can't get to it.
Me.
Oh, well, there's like a part where there's a later part of the level, but there's like a gate, so like normal people couldn't get through it. But I was like, you know what? I want to get through that. So then I like tried jumping on bushes and like tried getting momentum and stuff. And you actually can get over it if you're good enough at the game, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. And I assume they probably... So you're saying you're jumping on bushes and stuff, so does it seem like they put those bushes there as set pieces to help you get over the thing, but like without explicitly really helping you? If that makes sense? Like, do you think they knew the players are going to try and jump over it, so they kind of put like little bushes here and made them just tall enough to help you? Or do you think you're just breaking the game?
It's hard to tell, because like you think if they don't want people going over there, they'd put an invisible wall, but they don't, and it's really... Right. You can just jump over it.
That's something I really like about this level.
Yeah.
And then the music. How do you feel about the music here?
You know what? I like it. It's okay. So, this is just like what I implied through it. I feel like Twinkle Park is like subtly very creepy, and like has this like thing. Yeah, 'cause you go inside Twinkle Park and it's like this really creepy music. And things aren't as happy on the outside. So that gives me like the indication that things aren't as happy as they seem in Twinkle Park. And I think even the music in like the outside of Twinkle Park demonstrates that well too. Because I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like very crazy but at the same time almost like fake, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it is an amusement park, so the fakeness, I see why that theme is in your mind.
Yeah, but I like it. I think it does what it... Yeah, I just think it does it really well.
No, that's really eloquently put. It was interesting the way you thought about the theme of the song, how, like, it's creepy, not everything is as it seems, and it's like a fake kind of happy. Because I never saw it that way, and because I never saw it that way, I thought that opening creepy track was really out of place.
Yeah.
The rest, like, the other two songs, like the go-karting song, fabulous, that's another 3D Blast track, and then the other song is also very high intensity, high energy, like, you just want to scream and... yeah, you just want to scream. But that's a new perspective, yeah. And it's kind of, now that you say it, yeah, I can kind of see, I see a fake side to specifically the last song, the one where you're platforming, because like it is very high energy, and it's like, yeah, basically, yeah, I see the creepiness now, and I have a new appreciation for this level. Big question, how many hedgehogs do you give it?
I'd give like a 9. I really like this level.
You know what? I think I'm gonna save an F-bomb for another episode. Otherwise, this would have been the first F-bomb. I'm gonna give Twinkle Park a goddamn 9 out of 10 hedgehogs as well. This is a good level. I like this one.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like, if the next Sonic game was just Twinkle Park reskinned 12 times, I wouldn't have a problem with that. All right. Now we go from Twinkle Park to the level featured in Generations. It's none other than Speed Highway. This is the one everyone knows.
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, how do you feel about it?
I think that it's cool, and it's cool. The roads are cool. Well, no, they're not cool. Because they're like Windy Valley roads, but there's like more of them, and there's more design to them. So they're not as bad, and you won't be running as fast. They're not designed to like run really quickly. There's some really cool things like the wall running.
Yeah, that's a very good set piece.
Yeah, and you can just like do it naturally too, which is what I like.
Yes, it's not fake. Yes.
Yeah,
it's not like Sonic Unleashed or Boost era where like it's feels fake. Like you literally
it's like a scripted event. Like this is when you run in the wall. Like no, you can do it whatever you want, and then if you stop running, then you're gonna fall and like stuff like that.
Exactly. That is exactly what I was gonna bring up. Yes, if you stop running, you are going to fall, and
you have to like keep running at like an angle so that you don't slip off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like stuff like that too. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely like that. This level is definitely one of the most like physics-based levels of the entire game.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're talking about the first section, I'm really how much do you like the first part of this of Speed Highway?
I think it's decent. I think there's like a few cool, like okay, there's this part that I really like. Okay, so at the beginning when you're going down, and then there's like a loop, and then there's like roads, you know, like it splits off. It starts splitting off, and then there's like these two buildings to the side. You know, you can go onto them, and you can climb to the top. And I was like, haha, that's a game-breaking thing. But then there's like item boxes at the top, and the developers fully knew that you could do that, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I like that. It's like it's not really like the devs communicating to the gamers because they're not putting a sign up there, but yeah, it's like a sign of like, yes, we were aware that you could get here.
Yeah,
and the exploration, that's what it is. The exploration is really cool. I asked you how you felt about the first section because I kind of think it's overrated.
Ooh.
This is kind of like the first hot take, isn't it, of this little episode, but it's not bad at all. And I'm only talking about the first section. It's very physics-based, and it shows off the physics engine fantastically. I just think too many people in my life have told me how much they like this level, that in my mind, this level has reached like godly levels of respect and like holiness. And when I go back and play it, it doesn't meet those expectations.
Yeah.
But it's not a level.
Yeah. People like, I don't know, like, okay, opinions, whatever. People are like, oh yeah, this is the best level in the game. And it's good. I don't think I put it higher than like Twinkle Park or Emerald Coast, but it's good.
No, it's on par with those ones for sure, though. But it's, for whatever reason, everyone likes this stage out of Adventure. Like, this is the one.
Yeah.
But, you know what I will say, and in my opinion, the second section starts when Sonic breaks through the glass and he starts running down the mall, or whatever it is, the elevator shaft. That, awesome.
Yeah.
I love how they did that in Generations, by the way. Like, that was cool. I love how they remembered it. But once that section starts, and it's funny because a lot of people I know hate like the last part of Speed Highway, which is personally my favorite part of it because of how open it is. But I love that section where you're running down the whatever it is, elevator mall thing, the building.
Yeah.
And it's very cinematic and cool. But again, like we were saying before, where like you'll fall if you don't hold forward when you're running on the building. Like you can screw up running down this. You still need to be running.
Yeah. I think I like the wall running thing. I almost like it more in Generations because you can like quick step and it's more made for that. But I also like how when you break through the glass like in the middle and then you go into the building in Sonic Adventure, it doesn't feel like you're going into anything. It's just like another glass breaking so that the camera can change. But like in Generations, it's like you're actually running through the mall now, and that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. You know what's kind of weird, and I mean, Jungle Joyride's guilty of this, so is that section of Speed Highway. But what I like in a Sonic game is when the game is processing so many things, thinking about when you're stomping in the final section of that part in Speed Highway in Generations, that the game goes to like 5 frames. Frankly, I love that, because that just shows how insane this is. It's like Sonic has literally so many police guys chasing him. The detail in the mall is so high, and he's breaking so many particles of glass that the Hedgehog engine literally cannot process this and show it at 30 frames. Like, I love that. Same thing for Jungle Joyride and Unleashed. Like, you're blowing by so much stuff that's modeled at such a high detail, textured at such a high detail, that the game literally cannot keep up with you, and it's forced to run at like 5 frames. I love that. And I don't think Speed Highway and Adventure did that, but still. I'm over here talking about how much I love frame drops. But honestly, I really do like it. The last part of Speed Highway, it is very like linear, but like they give you a lot of choices and like what you can do in that small section. So that's why I said it was kind of like open, and that's why I really like that At Dawn section of Speed Highway.
Yeah, as a kid, I could never find my way around. I always got lost.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
It was a very weird idea because they put like the capsule behind the bell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. They should have put it in a more obvious spot, but I mean, I still found my way. But I can empathize with you. How about the music? Okay, you know what? For how overrated the stage is, the music, pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hang on. Another thing about the At Dawn section. I don't remember this exactly, but doesn't the time of day go along with like the hub world? When you go in, it's night, and then when you come out, it's dawn.
Yep, it's morning when you get out of the mall. That's completely right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, you know what? A new appreciation for this level. I totally overlooked that. Yes, I was aware of that, but I can't believe I forgot about it until now. Yeah, that's very cool. Okay. Yeah, we need to go back to the music. It's very good, and the music still holds up today. Case in point, they basically just reused it in modern Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was saying for how overrated this stage is, the music holds up well. The sampling was very well done. Like, they didn't use anything that was dated or stupid. And the guitars and all that stuff, it's a weird kind of blend of, like, dance and guitars. I mean, the classic stage in Generations is more so the dance part, but, like, it's still really cool and adventure. My favorite song out of the 3, though, thinking about when you're running down the mall, you're the Act 1 and then At Dawn. I really like At Dawn, actually. Like, that's my favorite song in this level.
Yeah, it's... Now that you mention it, it's, like, catchy. I don't know. I think it's more catchy than Speed Highway because, like, it's a good song. Yeah, it's a good song, but I feel like... I don't know, actually.
I feel you, though, man. It's like... I'm kind of aware that not a lot of people like At Dawn. but if you give it a listen, you'll realize very good standalone song. Out of 10 hedgehogs, I would give this, honestly, 7. It's not the best stage in the game, in my opinion.
Okay, I think I'd give it a high 7.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm giving it just a literal 7, so you're giving it a little higher than that. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if you know what stage I'm talking about when I describe it as so. So, this is the stage where Toad is screaming in the background.
Oh.
It's Red Mountain, baby.
Red Mountain? Are you talking... Wait, which section are you talking about? Are we talking about, like, the inside of the volcano?
Yep.
Or... Yeah! Yeah! That's funny. I never thought of it that way.
Oh, dude, that was the first thing I thought when I heard it, and I can't unhear it anymore. You know what? I like this stage. The stage doesn't get this and another stage, one of the ones we have left to talk about. This one doesn't really get a lot of love, or at least not that I've seen, but I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Emerald Coast kind of open, as well as Twinkle Park kind of open, because there's a lot of sections that you can skip, and I do, gladly. Yeah. Not because they're bad, but I don't know. Like, I love how the rockets go just high enough so that you can fall out of the range of one section and, find yourself in another.
Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stage is, exactly what you said, basically. It's like an Emerald Coast kind of this is like if Windy Valley was done right. Which is so weird, because Windy Valley isn't bad, but Emerald Coast, again, linear, but it's all spinny topsy-turvy. Red Mountain's also kind of linear, just because, here you are on a platform on the side of a mountain, jump to that platform on that mountain, and then vice versa, when in reality... it looks cool, but in reality, you're just kind of jumping platform to platform, doing a couple things, climbing the ladders and all that stuff. But it's done really well, and it makes me feel like I'm exploring.
Yeah, I just love how there's so many ways that you can find different ways to go
and
through.
It opens up, yeah.
Yeah, I love how there's this one part where you're on a green metal path, and you have to spiral down the mountain. But you don't have to. You can just jump off the edge and then go right to the end.
I didn't mean linear. I really meant that this level is basically just you jumping from different platforms. It's less about slopes. But yeah, it is definitely one of the most open levels in the game. I think this in Twinkle Park. I'm looking at the other ones. I don't think the other ones really much do any of this. But yeah. Red Mountain's really good for that. How do you feel about the section once you're in the cave?
Okay, I really like the mute. Okay, we're not supposed to talk about that yet, but I want to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it. I like how the music is really high rock, things are getting heated up, and it makes me feel pumped up, and it's crazy, and it's funny because I'm near lava and things are heating up.
Right. So it does a good job thematically.
Yeah, and it keeps the same kind of level design where you can skip a bunch of stuff. There's huge lava lakes, but if you spin dash right, you don't have to go over them.
Right.
And I don't know. There's also this weird. There's these weird parts where there's these mummy guys in cages, and I don't think you know them, but I'm what are they about? As a kid.
I think I like the first part of the stage more. I'll be honest, this is one of the stages I don't remember too much about, but didn't hate it at all. The lava ends up rising, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I remember that. That didn't anger me at all, unlike the Sonic Heroes equivalent, whatever stage that was. But, yeah, I'll be honest, I'm hard-pressed to remember anything about the second part of this level. The music, I will definitely agree with you that it sets the stage and thematically does an excellent job. Unfortunately, the way that I like music, this song is the least memorable of all the ones in this game. Like, I think I've. Oh, no. Well, yeah, I mean, the one thing I remember is the record scratch and Toad, like, ah! But, yeah.
Ah!
The first song in Red Mountain, though, is the da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. Like, that's awesome. And then when the piano kicks in with, like, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Whoa!
Oh, yeah.
I hit my phone, sorry. But yeah, that's very good, and that also sounds like floaty and airy, which is perfect because you're tangling off cliffs. But the songs in this stage do a very good job of portraying like two completely different atmospheres in the same kind of level theme. Like the first one's all happy, like, wow, we're on top of the world, we're exploring, we're adventuring, and then the second part is like, we're still doing that, but there's also lava. Anything else you want to add? Because clearly you know or you remember more about this stage than I do.
Not much. I mean, there are like a few parts where I like there's these parts where you're supposed to go across monkey bars over lava, but again, if you are good with the rocket, you don't have to go through that, I think.
Right. You know what? I would just jump and then do the little jump dash.
Yeah, that too.
It's like the little gimmick in Flying Battery Zone where you had to climb those things, except this is 3D and you can actually skip it.
Yeah.
I think out of 10 hedgehogs, I would give this a very... I'm not really in a position to give it a rating, but I think I would give it a very high 6 or a very low 7 hedgehogs.
Ooh, I think I would give it a low 8.
Yeah, see, if I guarantee you, like, we'll end this episode, I'll go back, play Red Mountain, I'll message you, this is the best level! So my rating isn't set in stone. That'll change eventually. Okay, this wasn't the other polarizing stage I was thinking of, the one up next, but it actually kind of is. Skydeck.
Yeah, this is a weird one.
Like, I haven't met someone who feels about this stage, unless you're literally about to do that.
I feel about it, cause I don't know, cause I like it, but there are some parts where I kind of, I don't know, they're just like not doing it for me.
Right. I like it. Yeah, because people I've met either like this stage or hate it. You're the first that's I like this stage. What I do not like is, I think it's the first part of the stage where you're on the catwalks, like right underneath the egg carrier, and you know that rocket is aiming for you, and you have to like be fast enough to not get hit by that. I hate that because the controls, like the orientation, really screwed with me, and that was already a problem I had with the game going back to Windy Valley. But after that, the stage is kind of okay. I don't like the automation, and I think it's like the second part of the stage where, you know, you're going up all those escalators, because again, you can accidentally move your thumb a little to the left or right in Sonic, like janky, like whoa, like falling off. But I never hated this stage. What you've been mentioning before is if you're good enough, you can skip parts. Like, you know those parts of the stage where you have to hug onto like those pillars?
Yeah.
Like, I forget what I would do, but I would do some sort of like weird jumpy thing. Oh, I remember. Yeah. Basically, I'd be on one of those catwalks, just spin dash, jump, and I would be able to hit that pillar like 20 miles over there. like skip a big part of this level. So that I was very fortunate for, but it's not a level I hate. But I think it does a gravity thing, right?
Yeah, at the last part.
Yeah, I could care less for that, but that's my only problem with this stage.
Okay, so I think that I have like the exact opposite opinion. Because I like the first part the most.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
you can just like cheese everything, like the pillars. You slide down really slowly, so if you jump faster than how you slide, you can just like climb up, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
With the catwalks, if it's a slope, you can spin dash and jump. So I like that and skip a lot. There's just like a lot you can do if you're really skilled, and I like that. And you can like skip a bunch of stuff because it's just a bunch of like floating platforms, and you can get to it if you want to. Yeah. Especially if you're Tails.
Yes, the Tails' version of this level is awesome. You can skip so much.
Yeah.
I think I like this stage just because I've never actually played all the gimmicks like they wanted you to. I think it's because I've been skipping a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. And I hate the section where it's like a mini boss fight where you have to like launch the rockets into that huge cannon's like hole.
Oh, that whole part where you're on the deck. I actually don't mind that.
I hate it because it has to be pointing at you. I wouldn't mind it if it didn't have to be pointing at you, but it's so hard to like get it to face you, and you have to like chase after it, but it's faster than you, and I don't like it.
I may have accidentally like gotten past that part with ease because I never remember that being like something I hated about it. I just remember that part sucking though because I would get hit every time and I'd be constantly losing my rings.
Yeah, I had to get hit for it to point at me.
Oh Lord! Oh, the part where you have to like run up the egg carrier and like the wind is all changing directions.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of cool. Okay, I'm like, eh.
Well, I mean, like, I don't love it, but I like how you can spin dash a bunch and like fight the wind, and you feel like, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Oh, true. I think ultimately I like this level just because and what I think is different from the adventure games to the modern games is that the game developers or the level designers in adventure realized you could cheese. I like that verb that you made up. Is that you can cheese the levels, but the level designers just kind of accepted that as like something that'll happen, rather than kind of like the boost games, how they kind of go out of their way to make sure you can't cheese anything. So for that, I really like the adventure stages, and again, for that, I really like Skydeck, because I think this level has the most potential for cheesability.
I also like the last part with the gravity because of how cheesable it is. Because you don't even have to do the gravity, like flipping the ship or whatever. You can because there are so many times where I spin dashed and then got to the capsule without needing to do anything, even though it's like on the side and you're supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, if you get it just right, you can beat that very easily.
Yeah.
I can't... God, what's the... the first song. Not talking about the music. It's okay.
Yeah. It's kind of... I don't want to say forgettable, but I'm like trying to figure out how it sounds, and I can't really.
There's the two distinct ones that I can remember. I was having trouble thinking of the songs. That's why I kind of waited before bringing them up. The first one's like the do 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 do.
Oh yeah.
That one's okay, but oh my god, I think this is the section with Tails in the airplane. Like
yeah.
Boo, 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 boo. Like that. That's a good song. I like that. I don't mind the music in this. Again, it's thematically very sound. It just took me a second to have to remember them, but I remember them by heart, as clearly you just heard a few seconds ago. But it's not bad.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, we didn't even talk about that Tails section. How do you feel about that Tails section? The airplane.
Oh, I hate them.
Really?
They're probably my least favorite part of the entire game. Not the entire game, but I don't like.
It's very easy for me, and so for that, I feel like it's a waste of time.
I know. Well, it's not hard in any way. It's so easy that it's boring, and you're not doing anything. And it's like a set time limit. You can't make it go faster or slower. It's just like something you have to go through.
I don't like how you're on rails or how you're on a certain pathway.
Yeah.
Because like the realist in me is like, why doesn't Tails just shoot immediately for that rocket so they can like destroy it or whatever?
I don't know. And then they shoot them down because they just spend like 10 minutes circling around the ship. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. It does its thing though. I mean, the game or Sonic Adventure is guilty of doing like 8 different things all at once. This is one of those things, so can't really.
Yep.
It serves its purpose, which kind of sounds like a cheesy cop-out, but I do firmly believe the game would have been fine without that, but it's in there regardless, and it's okay.
Well, I would disagree, but okay.
Disagree as in you think the game would be better without that?
No, I mean, like, I disagree as in you saying it's okay. I think it's not okay.
Okay. I respect your opinion. Not that I necessarily disagree, though. I wouldn't... If this level never... I would not have played through Sonic Adventure thinking, wow, there should have been a Tails airplane stage right before Skydeck. Okay, out of... You know what? As much as I don't mind the stage, out of 10 hedgehogs, I would probably give this like a... So weird. I give it like a 5 or a 6.
I'd give it maybe a 6, maybe like a high 6, maybe a low 7. Because I do really like, because it's really fun to like cheese stuff, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff I don't like.
Yeah, I think the stage as a whole, a lot of cheesability, so that makes it very fun. But if I wasn't cheesing this stage, holy moly.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one now. This one, I love the music in this stage, but it's kind of very forgettable, is Lost World. See, I can't even remember the music, but I do remember the music, but I can't replicate it, but it's a weird stage. The first part's weird.
I don't like it. I don't like this level. It's probably my least favorite Sonic Adventure level.
I hate the snake thing.
Yeah.
It was very unnecessary, and then the water, like, and all that. I do not like that.
Yeah, and how, like, Sonic kind of, like, wants to glitch off of it. Like, where are you going? Yeah. Stop.
Yes, exactly. And because they had the camera oriented, like, in a 2D way, at least initially. And then, again, the whole thing about having to orient your controls, like, with that. And it's very... I died a lot of times on this.
And there's no way to make it go faster. You can't cheese this.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you can, but no.
It's going to take, like, an exorbitant amount of cheesing skill. Yeah, the mirror section, like guiding the way, whatever that hint bubble said, that's okay. I'm mostly here for the last part, like all the platforming. I enjoyed that part of this level.
Alright, so, okay, this is like a really random and specific thing, but you know that part right before, I think it was the mirror section, where you're like outside and you can see like off like a landscape because you're running along a cliff?
Yes.
Yeah, I really like that part, and I'm mad that there wasn't more of that, because it looked really nice.
Yeah, I like that.
I like the light section because you don't have to use the lights, but it helps you.
That's true.
But I think at the same time it's kind of really pointless because, like, go to the thing and then move the mirror slightly to the left, and you can see now. Okay, go on.
It's weird how, like, everything suddenly kind of, like, lights up, too. And
Yeah.
doesn't Sonic go into like first person mode when you're trying to adjust the mirror?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's also kind of weird. But yeah, what you said, ultimately you don't need to use it if you know what you're doing. It's a little gimmick that sets Lost World apart from the rest of the stages, but maybe not for the better.
I don't know.
The music. Okay, the music in this has high potential to be forgettable, but there's one that I'm remembering in particular that I really like. The music, again, thematically good. Sets the scene, but high probability for forgettability.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, I think that's the case in point. I think mutually, this is probably our least favorite level of the game. How many hedgehogs would you give it?
Like 5 or 4.
I would absolutely give Lost World 5 hedgehogs.
Yeah.
Although I will say this was the first stage in the game where I was complaining about the controls, how like Sonic would go veering off, like if you tap the control stick. This was the first stage we were running down one of those corridors, and I aced it. That was an awesome feeling.
Wow.
It's like, he didn't hit a wall. I was like, I felt so proud. Okay. Kind of, I think ironically, this isn't the last level, yet it says it is. Final Egg.
Well, I mean, it's... I don't know. Like, I have no feelings whatsoever towards this level. It's just a level.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I like it because it's sort of like a gauntlet sort of thing. It's not really a gauntlet because, honestly, it's not that hard of a stage, but it's kind of fun because it seems like the game is actually, like, trying to give you a verbose challenge at this point, and you're like, when I beat the stage, I feel fulfilled. Like, yeah, this game tried to throw everything it had at me, but I still won.
Yeah. It's easy, though.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like a gauntlet, but it's easy. You just gotta slow down, honestly, in this stage.
I like how there's a part where there's, like, wind and you're falling or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is this the stage? Is this like what Red Mountain was for me, where you're just kind of like, eh?
Yeah.
This stage was easy. It looked like a gauntlet, and it was fun. The music, hella cool.
Really like the music.
Yeah, the music was awesome, and it sucks because Mechanical Resonance, I think, is the name of the one specifically that's awesome, but I can't remember it. There's one with the guitar solo, like do 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 now. Yeah, that one's cool. I think that's Mechanical Resonance, but there's the other song too that's perfectly fine as well. I like these ones because it just kind of went all in with like the rock, kind of like the snowboarding section in Ice Cap, and it's good. It's also kind of like funky too.
Yeah.
But yeah, really trying to think about it any further. Like I did have those few like points about this stage, but it's kind of like, yeah, there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay, how many hedgehogs would you give this? Because I think we have said about everything we could about it.
6. Hard 6.
6 hedgehogs?
Yeah.
You know what? I say that like I'm surprised, but honestly, yeah. I wish I kept track of all our ratings because without having to adjust the rating, I would give it 7 hedgehogs, but I feel like I gave some good levels 7 hedgehogs, so I think I'd give this 6 hedgehogs. Same as you.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree.
the last stage here that for some reason I'm completely blanking out on is Hot Shelter.
Hot Shelter was the one only Amy, Big, and Gamma went to.
Okay, well then that explains it. I don't know. Did you ever play this stage?
Yeah, and it was like different for every character. It was weird. It was like their final egg, but it's not final egg.
Okay. Was it? How was the level set up?
So it was weird, cause yeah, I don't. Okay, for Gamma, there was like a first part which was kind of like Final Egg except Gamma Edition,
Okay.
and then there was a second part where it was like trains, and you had to jump like across between the trains, and that was pretty cool.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, and for Amy, it was kind of cool as well. It's probably my favorite Amy level. But there's a lot of slopes that does not do well with Amy's playstyle. But other than that, there's a couple of cool things where there's like these huge gears, and you have to change you have to ride up one and then press a switch to change their direction to ride up the other one.
That's actually cool. Yeah.
And what else? There was something else. I don't know. Well, okay. One thing that I don't like about the level in Amy's section, though, is that there are these things like small red wheels that you have to turn to open the door, and that stops you in place until you turn it all the way, which sucks because Zero's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Yeah. It's kind of product of its time.
And Big was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything about the music that's memorable?
I don't remember it.
Alright, well then, how many hedgehogs would you give this stage then? I guess kind of just in general, so including all the characters.
6? I don't know. I feel like it's bogged down because of the play styles. Right. I feel like if it was designed more for like a character like Sonic, then it would be more fun. But because it's designed for the least fun characters in the game, then because of that, the level itself isn't that fun. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard, but I'd give it a 6.
Yeah, no, I respect that. I think over time we've gotten like harsher on these levels as we've gotten the list. We're like Emerald Coast, 9 hedgehogs. I think as we talk more and more about the game, we kind of just like we're more critical of it. We were very nostalgic with the first stage, and then Final Egg, like, I mean, case in point, you were speechless, just like, I got nothing. Let's do final thoughts then about the game then. How do you feel about Sonic Adventure?
Final thoughts? I think it's like really weird because you can tell the levels were trying, like you can tell like the developers didn't want to design different versions for the characters, so like you get Sonic running through like a Knuckles section, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
but I guess cool. Yeah, and like I don't know, stuff like that. Like Casinopolis, that was definitely Knuckles level, but they tried to make it work with Sonic, and it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So it was a weird time for Sonic, but when it was fun, it was really fun.
Yes, absolutely. When this game hits its mark, it's probably the best 3D Sonic experience out of the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Like, this game's peaks are the peaks of 3D Sonic, but with 06 as the exception, I think its lows are also like the lows of 3D Sonic.
Yeah, so it's like a roller coaster of quality.
Exactly. But I think for its time, it was a decent game. I think this is if you asked Quentin Tarantino to direct a video game, this is the result you would get. But overall, it's aged horribly, but if you're aware of that and you play this game, it's fine. You don't have any problems with it. It's when you jump into this game knowing that it's buggy and then you try to go and break it, I'm talking about someone specifically who we mentioned way earlier in the when you purposely try to break this game is when it'll obviously break on you. But overall, it's a very fulfilling Sonic experience. Again, you have very good moments, you get very bad moments, so you're getting the roller coaster of emotions there. And I think you can finish Sonic's story and walk out of that game, and you could have had fun with it. The soundtrack, again, like we said, phenomenal. I think like when it comes to trying to portray every stage as its own unique thing and not using the same really harsh buzzsaw synth for every single stage, this game is perfect. Like, each stage has its own unique identity, despite like 2 or 3 of them actually here involving like mountains and all that stuff. But like, when I say Windy Valley, you know exactly what stage I'm talking about. Even when I say Final Egg or Lost World, like, you still know exactly what stage I'm talking about, you know? Like, I'll let you play Forces, and then you're gonna get confused, honest to God, between like Metropolis and like Chemical Plant. Like, you're gonna be like, wait, which one was which? So this game was very good about being vibrant and unique.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Let's give a final Hedgehog rating. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should do like a Chaos Emerald ranking. Like, out of 7 Chaos Emeralds, what would you give Sonic Adventure?
6 or 5.
5 or 6 Chaos Emeralds?
Yeah.
If we were discussing this in 1999, I would give it 5 Chaos Emeralds, and I think I would still give it 5 Chaos Emeralds.
It's hard because I don't know whether to judge this game objectively or by how much I enjoyed it.
Right.
So that's where like the discrepancy comes in of like 5 or 6.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people that talk about like how it hasn't aged well, and I'm one of those people. Ultimately, the game still functions.
Yeah.
You can't really use that as like a crutch, because you play a game from like an Atari, you know that game is from a completely different time, and I think you kind of take the same mindset with Sonic Adventure. Don't expect it to be the like qualities of like Fallout 4. That's a bad example, but I mean, just a comparison. And it is a game that performs its function of being a Sonic game.
I agree.
And I think no better words to end this Sonic Adventure stage overview than with "I agree."
I don't know. You like said everything that I would ever say in my entire life about the game.